Hari Om friends, welcome to the fourth part of the series on the Battle of Raichur. In this part, we will take a look at some of Krishna Raya's religious endowments, especially to the Venkateshwar Swami temple at Tirumala. I need to thank Dr. Gopal Krishna Rao for a lot of material in this part because quite some of it has been taken from his book. And he also supplied me with names of the temples which Krishna Raya got built. So let's have a look at some of the religious endowments. Okay, so this is a very poor photo, poor in the sense that I didn't capture the detail I should have captured. And this is a photo I took on a visit to what is now the Telangana State Archaeology Museum or the Hyderabad Museum. This was around 2011. So it's a beautiful place. Do visit it if you are in Hyderabad, and it's got some very rare artifacts. Now I watched up the photo as the description part is cut off. But what I want to highlight is if you look at the gold chain or necklace which the two archakas of or priests of Tirupati are holding, you can see the massive size. And this is one of the things that Krishnadevaraya donated to Tirupati temple. And he donated, yeah, quite a lot of stuff. Uh, so if you go to the museum or if somebody's gone to the museum and has got a better quality photograph, please do send me one so I'll update it in the video sometime. Now, just going from a report which appeared in the online edition of a newspaper called the New Indian Express. So it's different to the Indian Express. So the New Indian Express is published mostly in South India. And it quotes Professor Sesha Shastri, a former Professor Krishnadevaraya University at Anantapur, that Krishnadevaraya donated a crown decorated with diamond and red stones. And again, as I said, this is just one of the many endowments he made to Tirupati. And he made massive endowments to temples in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra. To give a small example, he presented 10,000 gold varahas. So, varahas is basically a gold coin. And I will discuss more on this after a couple of slides. To be distributed in temples in Tamil Nadu because he couldn't personally go to all the temples. So, he made a one shot endowment. And after the capture of the fort of Udaygiri, so it's a very impregnable fort from the Gajapati rulers of Orissa, he presented 30,000 gold coins with Venkateshwar Swami's image to the Tirumala temple. And he donated huge amounts to temples in Vijayawada, Simhachalam, and Srikakulam. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. And this photograph is of the Vimana, which is the upper part of the Sanctum Sanctorum at Tirumala. So underneath here, or inside this building, is the image of or murti of Venkateshwar Swami, and he donated 30,000 gold coins in 1517 to Tirumala, and the gold covering or the gold gilding of the Viman or the dome is actually from melting down these quite a lot of these gold coins. So you can see he was a very kind of munificent giver to the temples. Now it's very rare in this day and age to see any politician actually donating from the government coffers massive amounts of money to temples. Instead, we have got the reverse cycle going on, where temple is where the money is taken from temples and then used for hundreds of other purposes. This was what the British started in India, and it has gone on. So a lot of money from temples like Tirupati Padmanabha Swami temple and other big temples is taken and used by the government, and it's also used to finance these Hajj trips or subsidize Hajj trips. And now recently these Jerusalem trips have started for Indian Christians. So all of this is subsidized from temple revenues. So that's how things are in India. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So I mentioned that I would show you an image of what a gold varaha looks like. So this is a coin issued during Krishnadevaraya's reign, and on one face you can see. Let me get the laser pointer on. So this one. So you can see, the baby Balakrishna seated, and he's wearing the sacred thread, and he's got a ball of butter in his right hand. On the other side of the coin, you got the inscription Shri Pratapa Krishna Raya. Okay, so I got this description from this site itself, and there's a very good book called Studies in Vijayanagar Coins by Shri K. Ganesh. So I would recommend you get that book as well if you're interested in Vijayanagar history. Now this is half a Varaha, so this was called a Pratapa, and this weighed around 1.68 gram. So a full Varaha, or what Krishna Raya donated to the temples, would be around 3.36 grams. So it roughly comes to around 100 kilos of gold, which in today's value is around 55 crore rupees. But adding the antique value will probably be in excess of 100 crores. So this was just one of his donations uh, to the temples. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So something I want to highlight is there has been a controversy in recent years with several of the precious jewels and ornaments donated by Krishna Rai going missing. Okay, so around 2018 there was a big controversy because the head priest or the chief archaka of the Tirumala temple, I think his name was A.V. Ramana Dikshitulu. So he came out against the government, against the Andhra Pradesh government, saying a lot of stuff had gone missing. So I'm just reading verbatim from a 2018 news report. Okay, so the temple's head priest, A.V. Ramana Dikshitulu, on Tuesday told reporters in Chennai that the temple was subjected to a 25-day run on its treasures by the authorities when the kitchen was closed. Most of the items and valuables are missing since then, and no records are properly maintained since 1996. Now, for those of you who don't know, almost all the temples in South India are run by the state governments. So each state government has a department called the endowments department or something similar. Names might be different, but the task is pretty much the same. So they assign a government official to run temples, and they are typically divided into revenue slabs. So if a temple earns less than 25 lakh of rupees, a certain official will run it. If it's more than 25, certain official, and if it's kind of a big like Tirupati, it will be run by somebody else, by an IS officer or something. So endowments departments are quite notorious because they have embezzled funds. They have sold off lakhs of acres of lands, especially in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. And there's also massive corruption, complete disregard for the historicity, sanctity of temples. So they will drill, they will destroy inscriptions, they will put up tube lights anywhere. It's completely run as a government department. And this scandal seems to have petered out after a while because after a few months there was nothing on this, so this was all hushed up. And I've also heard rumors, you can probably find this online, about some of the jewels donated by Krishna Rai turning up in auctions in Israel. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's true, because smuggling of antiques from Bharat is a very big business. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So here I will briefly, very quickly rather, cover some of the key temples built by Krishna Raya. Now I haven't visited any of these, so some of you might know much better than me. So I'll just very briefly touch on these because it's my really desire to do a tour of Hampi and all the associated places. So one of the most famous temples built by Krishna Raya is the Lakshmi Narsimha temple of Hampi. This is also known as the Yoga Narsimha temple. And this murti, like numberless others, was destroyed or badly damaged by Muslims during the destruction of the capital in 1565 of the Common Era, after the Battle of Rakshasatangadi or Talikota. Now, the Lakshmi Narsimha statue, it's a huge monolith, so it's difficult to get an idea looking at the photograph. So I think if you visit it personally, you will see it's a pretty big thing, and you can see it's typical in Islamic fashion. The hand has been knocked off, the legs have been knocked off, and I think there was a murti of Lakshmi Devi sitting in the lap of Narsimha Swami, and that's also been destroyed. So massive destruction, and a lot of the buildings in Vijayanagara had wooden frames, okay, wooden rafters, and when the city was set on fire, obviously a lot of these fell down, and they were supporting the weight of a lot of stone masonry. So a lot of these buildings collapsed, which is why the city is more like a moonscape now. Okay, next temple. So this is the Anantashayana temple at Hampi, and I really don't have anything more to speak on this. Like I said, if somebody has more information, please do provide it in the comments as well. And this is the really famous temple at Srirangam. So I'll do a separate video on the architecture of the Srirangam temple. It's a massive temple complex, and this is the thousand-pillared hall in the Srirangam temple, which Krishnadevaraya got built. So you can see he was a very big, patron, or he was a very big devotee of the devatas as well. So that's it for this time, and in the next part, I will touch on the nature of the Muslim rule. How they treated their Hindu subjects, what was their attitude towards the economy, and all of those kinds of things. So this has been a quick video, but if you have liked it, please do remember to share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you.